What's going on, guys? Aero here, and guys, Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch is definitely going to be a game that I think a lot of people are anticipating, and I know so many people are excited for Pokemon on the Switch just for the fact that we're finally going to be having a Pokemon game in high definition on a home console. I mean, I know so many times people have wanted Pokemon games to appear on home consoles, and Game Freaks always use the excuse of, well, you can't take your home console with you wherever you go, and we want Pokemon to be like a social experience where you can communicate with your friends and have fun, and they can't really use that with the Nintendo Switch, as you can take that with you wherever you go. So I know a lot of people are really excited for Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. But the question really is, when is this Pokemon game on the Switch coming out? As last year when we got the announcement during E3, where the president of the Pokemon company announced that a core RPG Pokemon title is being developed for the Nintendo Switch, he also mentioned how the game may not release for more than a year, implying that it could come out this year in 2018, but it could also come out next year in 2019. And I actually made a video about this where I discussed pretty much all the reasons that I could think of as to why the game could come out this year in 2018, as well as why it could come out in 2019, and then I also made a video about what could happen this year and what needs to happen in order to make sure that Pokemon on the Switch comes out this year. So if you haven't checked out those videos, I highly encourage you to go and check them out. There should be like a little eye in the corner where you can go and visit them. All you have to do is just tap on your screen and look for the little eye, and if you can tap on that, you'll be able to watch those videos. So hopefully you can go and check those videos out. But if you really want Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch to come out in 2018, it looks like it might just happen. So this news about Pokemon Switch is a little bit old. I think it's like a few days old, but I did find it really interesting and I do want to cover it on the channel. And I think this will also be good for you guys if you aren't aware of this or you didn't know that this happened. But basically what went down was Nintendo of Europe sent an email out to certain people about the Nintendo Switch. And I'll have like screenshots of the email here. You can see that it's in a different language, so you won't be able to understand what it's saying. I think the language here is Dutch, but I do have like a vague translation of what people are saying. I read some articles online and I'll have those articles linked in the description as well. But yeah, basically this survey is talking about like games that are on the Nintendo Switch and if people are enjoying their Nintendo Switch. And I don't exactly know how this email was even sent to people. Like, I don't know if this was just people that Nintendo knew had a Nintendo Switch. Is it like people who are connected with My Nintendo? If you did get one of these emails, like if you're from Europe and you got one of these survey emails from Nintendo, definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know how you guys got these sent to you. But basically in this survey, they kind of just talked about the Nintendo Switch experience and how people are feeling about the Nintendo Switch and if they're enjoying it. And then at the end, they had a little survey where they showed off a whole bunch of Nintendo Switch games and they asked people how inclined they would be to purchasing these games within the next 12 months. And since this was sent out in January, that's pretty much like in 2018, I guess, like how they would be inclined to purchasing these games in 2018. So I'll have like a screenshot of all the games here. You can see that they have certain games like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Breath of the Wild, ARMS, and a whole bunch of like other Switch games that are out. But the thing that's really interesting is that if we take a look at the very last game, it talks about the Pokemon RPG that's going to be coming onto the Nintendo Switch. So this is really the thing that's getting a lot of people hype, as why would Nintendo put Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch in their survey for games that people will be interested in purchasing within the next 12 months if we don't even know exactly when Pokemon on the Switch is going to be coming out. But I do want to mention how it also does list Bayonetta 3 in this survey, and we don't know exactly when Bayonetta 3 is going to be coming out either. Like, I don't think we even have a release frame for Bayonetta 3. It was revealed during the Game Awards, but I think it was just like a teaser that they showed off that it's in development. So I don't know exactly when Bayonetta 3 is going to be coming out either, so it's not like Pokemon Switch is the only game that's listed here that we don't know is going to be coming out this year. But I think that the big question here is, does this mean that a Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch is confirmed to be coming out in 2018? And the answer is absolutely not. I think that there's multiple reasons why Nintendo could have decided to put Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch in their survey, and the first reason that I can think of is kind of just to gauge their releases, as maybe they already have a mindset of when these games are going to be done development and when to plan their releases, and they could use the survey to kind of help them and see how many people are actually like ready to purchase these games. Like if they see Bayonetta 3 has like a pretty low amount of people that want to buy it or like are interested in it, then maybe they'll make that like a summer title or like a title that comes out in the beginning of the year. But if they see that so many people are interested in purchasing Bayonetta 3, then they might kind of make that towards the end of the year and make it like a holiday title, so they know that a lot of people will ask for that as like a gift or something and end up getting that. So I think that that's one reason that they could use this. They could also use this to see just for Pokemon how many people are are actually interested in Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch, as this is going to be a Pokemon game that's going to be on a home console. And I think that's the one thing here. I don't know how many people are actually going to be purchasing a Nintendo Switch in order to play Pokemon, as a lot of times, believe it or not, there's people who buy just Nintendo handheld and play consoles with some other game or like a PC or something like that. Like I know so many people who buy like a PlayStation or an Xbox, but they have a Nintendo handheld like a 3DS or a DS or something like that, and they don't purchase any of the Nintendo home consoles. Like they don't have GameCubes or N64s or anything like that. They just like the Nintendo handheld line. And so this might be a really good indicator for them with the survey to see how many people are actually interested in Pokemon on a home console, as primarily we've always been buying Nintendo home consoles just for the home console experiences from Nintendo, like Mario and Zelda and stuff like that. So this is probably a good indicator for them as well to see how many people are actually interested for Pokemon on a home console. So this one thing here is something that I don't really think is going to be a problem, but I do want to mention it real fast, and it's that I really hope that the results from this survey do not influence the development team at Game Freak to make sure that their Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch comes out as soon as possible. Like I really don't want Mr. Masuda going to his team at Game Freak and saying like, hey guys, look at the results from this survey, people really want Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch to come out, we gotta get this game out guys, like let's rush up our development, let's make sure that the game comes out really fast now, we gotta get this game out this year, let's try to cut some of the content here from this area, I think we can scrap some of those extra things, let's just try to make sure that we can finish the game really fast and get it out. Like I really don't want that to be the mentality at Game Freak. I don't want them to feel like they can just rush out this Pokemon game so that people really want to have like that experience. I really want them to take their time and make sure that the Pokemon Switch game is the best that they can truly make it. Like to me, I honestly won't have a problem waiting until like 2021, even if I have to make sure that this Pokemon Switch game is the best that they can make it. Now obviously it's not going to be that late, but I'm just saying here, like I don't have a problem with waiting. I know some of you guys might be like, I really want to just play this game, like I really just want to get this game and start playing it right away. Personally, I just want to make sure that the game is the best that it can be. I really hope that's not how they feel about the results from the survey and kind of like rush up development, as I kind of feel like that's what happened with Pokemon Sun and Moon. Like towards the end, I kind of felt like Pokemon Sun and Moon was rushed. I think there were even 7 trials throughout the game, and there's always been 8 gym leaders, so I kind of felt like there should have been 8 trials from the start in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and there were only 7 trials. I think people even said like in the code for Pokemon Sun and Moon, they found like the code for a scrap trial, like that was going to be the 8th trial of Pokemon Sun and Moon. So I kind of do feel like they rushed some of the parts at the end with Pokemon Sun and Moon. And even like with the Elite Four battle, I think like there was one Elite Four member, Kahili was her name, and she just came out of nowhere. Like I had no clue who she even was. She didn't have any part in the story. She was just like a random character, and it was just kind of rushed to me. It felt like it didn't make a lot of sense. And like even with that last trial, like the Como, it just fell out of the sky. You didn't have to do any tasks or anything. And I kind of hope that these problems will be resolved in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Like it would give these characters like Ryuki and Kahili a purpose, but that didn't really turn out to be the case. They didn't have that much significance in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon either. And I just hope that that doesn't turn out to be the case with Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. I really hope that they do take their time and they can get this game out and it's as best as they can possibly make it. So I did tweet about this on Twitter, and I asked you guys how you feel about this information and the possibility for Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch to come out in 2018. So let's take a look at my Twitter here and see if we got any responses. I tweeted about this a few hours ago, so I think we should have a few responses. Alright, so here's the tweet. It says, what do you think about Nintendo EU asking in a survey if you would buy Pokemon Switch in the next 12 months and the potential for it to come out in 2018? So let's see if we got any responses. Now the first one here is from Henrique, who says, to be honest, Pokemon Switch seems like it's going to be so different. I'd rather it be pushed back to 2019, and I mean either mid or late 2019, just so that they can get the game right and make it as grand as it can be. But that's just me. So yeah, dude, I totally agree with you. This is exactly how I feel as well. I want the Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch to be the best game that Game Freak can make. I really want it to be an amazing HD experience. And if that means pushing that game back to 2019 or even 2020, I have no problem with it. I can gladly wait. But I think it's just the fact that so many people want to play that they kind of want to make sure that they can get this game out as soon as possible. And also another thing is Pokemon makes so much money whenever a new game comes out. Like, it's not even necessarily just a new game, I guess. Whenever a new generation of Pokemon comes out, the Pokemon Company and Game Freak make a ton of money. And the fact is, because of how they make that much money, it comes from the games, it comes from all the people who are buying the trading cards, it comes from the people who buy the merchandise, like the Pokemon plushies and all of that. There's so much money that is made when they have a new generation come out, as they already know that there's going to be so many products that they can make for all of those new Pokemon, all of the new games, the strategy guides. They make a lot of money. And so I think that that's also another reason why they really want to make sure that they can get that game out, as that's a lot of money for them to make. Now we also have a response here from the Soggy Elmo, who says it has to come out in 2018. They need a game for the holidays that will sell consoles like Mario did, and I totally agree with you, but I think this also depends on what Nintendo's plan is for 2018. Like, we don't know exactly what games are going to be coming out. They could very well make Smash Bros like a holiday title, and that's going to sell a lot of Nintendo Switch systems as well, but I do agree with you on the fact that Pokemon is definitely a holiday game that could be on the Switch as well. Dark Gym Leader says Legendary Year of 2018 event was just announced a moment ago. There is no Legendary in December. Maybe just something big in December, maybe something to do with Gen 8 in December. Yeah, so I did see this, and I actually wanted to bring this up, so yeah, thank you for mentioning this. I recently looked at this YouTube video that the Pokemon company put out, and they talked about how 2018 is going to be like this legendary year where they're going to be giving away a legendary Pokemon every single month, so that's going to be really cool, but they didn't talk about a legendary Pokemon in December, and I feel like this doesn't mean that Pokemon Switch is going to be coming out in December. I kind of feel like this is them saying that a Pokemon game might not be coming out this year, as they have to have a whole bunch of these like legendaries to have something for people to do in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and the fact that these Pokemon are coming out even in November, like I think that kind of just means that Pokemon Switch might not be coming out. Like, why would people care about a legendary Pokemon in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon by November if the Pokemon Switch game will already be out in November? Like, if you kind of understand what I'm trying to say. And also with Zeraora, like maybe December is going to be that secret month where they unveil Zeraora and have Zeraora come out, but then that would mean like there's no way for them to reveal Pokemon's 8th generation if they haven't completed the 7th generation with Zeraora. That's pretty much what I talked a lot about in my previous video. So yeah, I don't know exactly how I feel about that. Nerdify here is saying a 2018 release date was a tease right at the start. I personally don't think that the game will be ready by then, so enough traction on this could mean them releasing an unfinished game and fixing it with updates later. This problem has been plagued the video game industry for a long time. So I actually haven't thought about this. I also mentioned in this video how like I don't want the Pokemon game to be rushed, but the thing about Pokemon is they've never really done DLC before. We've never really had DLC in a Pokemon game, or like where they've added extra content via updates or something like that. So I don't know how you would feel about that either. Like, would it be okay for Game Freak to release like an unfinished, rushed out game and then kind of fill it in with some updates and new content down the road? I don't think I'd really like that. I kind of just want it to be the full experience right from the start. But yeah, I do agree with you on that. I hope that the game isn't rushed and then just like try to be patched with some updates and stuff later on. Ethan here is saying, I would much rather them take their time and do it right. I don't want them to spare any expense. So yeah, like I said, I totally agree with you. I want them to take their time and just make sure that the game is as best as they can be. Emmett here is saying, please 2018, because I can't wait anymore. So this is like I said in this video, like a lot of people just can't wait. They want to get their hands on this game. So that's another reason why Game Freak might be just trying as hard as they can to make sure that the game is coming out this year. Carlos here saying, I think that the game has to be at least mostly finished, otherwise Nintendo wouldn't have entertained the idea of a 2018 release. They must have confidence in Game Freak to release a quality product in time, or they would have simply kept it a secret for longer. And I think that the only reason they even mentioned that a Pokemon Switch game is in development for the Switch is because of the fact that last year, if you remember with the Nintendo Direct, there were so many people that were upset by the fact that Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are still going to be coming out on the 3DS. And I think a lot of people just anticipated a Pokemon Switch game at that point, and I think they kind of had to just say that a Pokemon Switch game is in development to cover up and give people like hyped and say that like, yeah, there is going to be a Pokemon Switch game, but that game is a little farther away. So I don't know how I feel about that. Pika Raichu saying, honestly, it gets me all excited, especially for that shiny Zygarde in June. It will no longer be shiny locked. I think that the game on Switch will come in December. I'm excited for that too. I have a lot of time to save up for an expensive Switch. So yeah, I do know that a lot of people are saying that Game Freak might release the game in December, as like it could be like the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 of this year, like it'll be like an early December title. I don't know how I would feel about that, but it could make sense. I think like a Pokemon Switch game in December would be a really big seller, especially because it's still right before Christmas and all of that, so a lot of people would still want that. But yeah, I think it could make sense, especially for the fact that they didn't mention a legendary Pokemon that they're going to distribute for this like Legendary of the Year event. That's going to be in December, so maybe it might come out in December, but I don't really think that. I think they kind of would want to try to get it right before Black Friday, like how Nintendo holiday titles usually come out. And then J.A. Brown here saying, I really hope that they don't get the results of that survey to influence their production process. Like, suppose everyone would answer saying they would, and they'd rush to make sure that the game is completed next year instead of 2019. I don't want that. I want them to take their time. So dude, you pretty much just said exactly what I said in my video. Like, I really don't want them to have that survey kind of feel like, yeah, guys, we really got to get this game out. Yeah, it's really cool how you had the same exact thought that I did. But yeah, thank you to all of you guys who did respond here. I agree with a lot of you guys and your thoughts here. So thank you to to all of you who responded, and if you ever want to be featured in videos like this, then all you gotta do is follow me on Twitter at @Aero. I'll always tweet about this like ahead of time when I'm gonna be making a video, and you can just tweet me your responses and you'll usually be featured in these videos. So yeah, thank you to all of you guys who responded. So yeah, there you go guys, that's all the information that we have here from the survey that Nintendo of Europe sent out to a bunch of people, and the possibility for Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch to come out in 2018. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to click that like button, and also comment down below and let me know how you feel about this. I'm always curious to see what you guys have to say. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Pokemon Switch content in the future, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Go follow me on Twitter at @Aero if you ever want to be featured in videos, or just tweet to me or send me something. I'm usually able to reply to everyone that tweets to me, so definitely be sure to go and follow me there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.